Welcome to Franchise Marketing Radio, brought to you by SeoSamba. Comprehensive high-performing marketing solutions for mature and emerging franchise brands. To supercharge your franchise marketing, go to SeoSamba.com. That's SeoSamba.com.
Lee Cantor here, another episode of Franchise Marketing Radio, and this is going to be a good one. Today we got with us Todd Owen with Eggs Up Grill. Welcome, Todd.
Hello, how are you today?
I am doing great. Before we get too far into things, tell us about Eggs Up Grill. How you serving folks?
Well, we are serving them quite well, despite COVID being a little harder on us this year. We've done some things to combat that, but we love to serve our communities, which is a big part of our brand DNA. So it really kind of gets to the core of some of the differentiation about our brand.
Well, tell us about Eggs Up Grill. What's the concept?
So we would be what you'd call in the better breakfast category, I think it's been referred to. Operating hours are from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. So no dinner business, no drive-through, no hugely extensive menu by day part. We're all about breakfast food that gets served, throughout the 6 to 2 p.m. hours. We have a customer demographic that is kind of a fit between not really in the millennial higher disposable income and not really the person looking for the cheapest plate of pancakes they can find out there. I kind of would call it in the gray collar area. So really attractive to anybody from a student to people that live at home and families and really oriented around neighborhoods. Fair amount of the blue collar business out there, in addition to professionals that want to take breakfast meetings.
Oh, so there is an opportunity to, you have Wi-Fi to work out of there, like to have coffee and breakfast and maybe have a meeting there? Sure.
It's a lot of our business are the breakfast meetings, the slower starting morning during the week. And of course, 40 to 44% of our business is actually on the weekends, given how much people like to go out to breakfast with friends and family.
So you have the big brunch, weekend brunches? Huge.
Yeah. That's when all hands on deck, man. It's crazy.
So now let's talk a little bit about the growth. You mentioned the pandemic earlier. The pandemic in some ways in franchising is there's an opportunity there because a lot of people who had jobs don't have jobs and are looking to control their own destiny. So they're exploring franchising. Are you finding that to be the case?
In our tracking, we've definitely seen an uptick in that type of franchise prospect that may be feeling uncertain about the future or has maybe had something forced on them that has made them look to taking control of a business and for themselves that they feel passionate about. Sure, everything in life, even working for somebody else, comes with a risk. So people, look to seek opportunities that may provide them the solutions for what their life and their family goals are.
Now, is the ideal franchisee somebody that is that person, or do you kind of have people that have maybe complementary, they're already in the franchising business and they're adding this to their portfolio? What does a franchisee look like for you guys?
Well, we're a 22-year-old brand. A lot of the original franchising that the founders did, and they're gone, and we're now owned by a family-owned private equity company that has really got a long-term play for what they want to build in the brand. But it's really revolved around the original single-unit franchisees that really just wanted that lifestyle kind of job and to serve their communities. The thing that's happened over the years is many of those franchisees have said, I've been so happy with this investment and such that I'd like to build 2 and 3. So several of those people that came with no restaurant or perhaps even a real business background have become multi-unit operators. So then, over time, as we are an emerging brand with currently 44 operating locations and another 38 committed in the development pipeline, that we're attracting some people that have already been in the franchise business or actually operating restaurants that have looked to our model or as a segment of business that they saw some white space and opportunity in their markets for. So it really covers all three of those categories of the type of franchisee. And again, our operation is such that the transition isn't as difficult.
Now, when they are, like you mentioned, they don't necessarily have to have restaurant experience, but do you expect that franchisee who doesn't to be kind of in the restaurant working it, like it's a hands-on, it's not an absentee opportunity?
Yeah, sorry, are you there?
Yeah, I was just wondering, is the person who doesn't have restaurant experience, do you expect them to be in the restaurant or can they run it as an absentee owner?
Both. The model is set up so that, frankly, a franchisee could be part of the labor model as the manager/owner, but also that a salaried manager that could be hired and can make it into a scalable business where you could, again, either be a more detached or not in the restaurant every day running things. It frankly works well for both and is pretty evenly split down our system as to those that do both of that.
Now, part of the kind of the culture is an immersion in the community and really being an active member of the community.
Yeah. It, frankly, it's something that we have to continually reinforce in the way the company was founded, and really establish itself in its DNA. That it was, breakfast is a place that is generally, more casual than most meals. It's good times with friends and family, especially when we're doing all that business on the weekend. And when I talk about being part of the community, it's not the simple things of just supporting your local charities and schools and churches. And while that indeed is a part of it, it's also just the type of people that work on our restaurant and the little things we do from a service and operational standpoint that gain a loyalty of a customer that wants to come back just because of the guest experience.
So what's an example of something that you do or train your franchisees to do in order to kind of create that staff that really cares?
I was at one of our competitors for breakfast, won't name them. And I found that one, they brought me a carafe of coffee. They were very quick and precise with things, but it's a full, it is a breakfast place. It's a full service restaurant. It was almost like they were going out of their way not to have the server engage the customer in any kind of call it the friendly get to know you kind of business that I think a lot of people like to not just go to a restaurant one time, but if they like it, they're going to go back time and again. And it really just kind of, that's a little example. If that's kind of your question of what we do along those lines. There are the technology oriented things about social media and all that, but really it's about taking care of our guests and just executing a really good food that's priced very competitively.
Well, that's the challenge, I think, in franchising is to create the systems and the tactics that work and are replicatable, but also create that human-to-human relationship building that is so critical to get repeat customers.
Yeah, I've been in franchise development in one way or another, and almost all of it in restaurant for the last 25 years. And I look at there's a lot of businesses out there that are successful, and they're competitors even despite that. But it's really about knowing who you are and taking care of your business model, knowing your differentiating points and your strengths, and just going out and executing them. And if you've got a model that attracts consumers willing to spend money, there's plenty of success to be had around. It also goes to the type of franchisee that we think. And I mean, I've done franchise deals with, frankly, 20, 50 unit franchise owners of other restaurant brands. They're so different culturally, depending on the brand you're with. They may not be the really right fit. So it's part of our due diligence process to see that, we find the right type of franchisee that we think we can continue to translate the legacy that's been built here.
So now, what do you need more of? How can we help? It sounds like you're doing pretty good with attracting new franchisees. Well,
I'm not going to shy away from the obvious. The full service business took a pretty big hit because of COVID, and we know that's still going on. But we've gone from a low of just 16 out of 43 restaurants being open to not a single closure since, of course, the mandated shutdown. And we are now up to 44 restaurants. We are only about a negative 5% on what we compare as year-over-year sales. So we compare our restaurants being over a year. We have, of those, that base is 36 restaurants. 13 of those are actually what we call positive comp, as in they're doing more sales than they did a year ago in November of 2019. We're coming, to be still just slightly negative, I think is a real accomplishment. We will open a record 9 restaurants this year, which is pretty good on our relatively small base. And as we start the end of the year with 46 restaurants, we're planning to open and forecasted for 12 to 15 next year. So that'll be another record year for us. So things are headed in the right direction.
So now you mentioned the pandemic. Did anything come of that is turned into kind of a silver lining or a positive in the terms of, hey, now we do curbside, or now we figured out how to do delivery, or something that maybe wasn't at the forefront, but now is something you almost have to do that you'll be able to carry over even post-pandemic?
Yeah, I think if you weren't a full service restaurant that didn't pivot to delivery or carry out in whatever manner, I don't know if you're going to make it long term. And you might even be in a poor position if you were a rather high-end restaurant to be able to do that. There's going to definitely be some damage out of that. But we looked at, one of the things was we had to, I think crisis drives a lot of business to do things perhaps that they might in any normal year. Maybe it's human nature that they wouldn't necessarily do. And they really buckle down and figure out how to do things. And we looked at ways to reduce costs for our franchisees. We didn't collect any royalties or marketing fund fees for the entire 3 months of when in the March into June shutdown. As we were all suffering together, I guess you'd put it. And we've built back a plan that we call Fill the Gap, where we knew there were going to be still customers out there that either because of lifestyle changes or perhaps concern of fear over dining out, you work as hard as you can to make them feel safe and comfortable, but there's going to be some that don't come back. And that's where we built a strategy to grow weekly sales through a myriad of tactics without considering any of the customers that might be a little shy about going out to restaurants. And it's working remarkably well, which partly explains why as a system we're only down about 5% and 13 restaurants are actually running positive to prior year. And, any new franchisee my gosh, it's going to take you typically a 9 to 12 month cycle to even get open if we started talking to you today. So I like to think that we'll even have all that upside built into the system, plus the concern over COVID with hopefully a vaccine coming soon, and that will be long gone, and we'll be that much in a better position into Q3 and Q4 next year.
Well, congratulations on all the success. If somebody wanted to learn more about Eggs Up Grill, what's the website? eggsupgrillfranchise.com. And my number, if anybody wants to ever call me directly, I'm the VP of development here, is 864-310-2403. And my name is Todd Owen. Good stuff, Todd. Congratulations again on all the success.
Thanks, Lee. Appreciate it.
All right. This is Lee Cantor. We'll see you all next time on Franchise Marketing Radio.